Alright, so the plan for today is to get all the prep work done as much as possible. And by prep work I mean all the sheet metal fabrication and whatnot to get the rust spots out of the firewall and the window trim area, so I can at least get the scuttle panel ready to be put in. I don't think it's going to be put in today with all the work and all the rust that's going to have to be cut out, and new pieces of metal that I'm going to have to cut out and shape and weld in. So I'll show you what I've done so far. So this entire area was of course completely rusted through. The rust that's left on the edges here is just surface rust, so I'll grind it down. There's some right here too, but this whole section was pretty much rotted out. So hello, you can see the inside. Yeah, so I have to actually have the shapes already pre-drawn. I used as much as the old sheet metal as possible, which really wasn't much left, to try to make a design or template for the new sheet metal. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. I'm going to have to grind it down, bend it a little bit to get it to fit, but at least it won't look like this. And then I have to do the same thing on the front down here. This was the old piece. The reason I did it was because on this side it's rusted through. And then the same thing on this side, except this side was worse. And I actually started drilling out the plug welds, or spot welds. And when I got to this one right here in the middle, that's when it went through, and that's when I realized it was just rusted through. So I cut it out. So I'm going to make a new one. And then over here looked okay, except this is still rusted. But I was thinking maybe it was surface rust until I looked underneath. I don't know if you can see underneath here, but the firewall right here is pretty much shot. And then I saw there's some rust right here as well. So I'll be cutting the inner support and fabricating some new metal on this side, which means I'll probably just go ahead and cut this entire section out and make a whole new section, just like the other side. Here, I'm going to grind this down, see how deep it is. If not, I'm probably going to have to fabricate all new metal here all the way across, pretty much. And then on the inside of the lip, I'm going to cut it probably right about here across the entire thing. Yeah, I'm going to cut it right about here across the entire dash support. And then fabricate a new lip, because this lip is gone and it's rusted, and I don't want rust to continue to spread, and I want to have a good foundation for the window sill to sit on, so I don't get any more water on the inside of the car and create further rust problems later. So that's the plan today, is to get all the sheet metal work done as much as possible. Hopefully it'll all get done today and I'll be able to get it all cut out, fabricated, and welded in. And then after that's all said and done, I'll do test fitting of the panels, make sure everything's good. If it is, I'll go ahead and start on the engine bay. And my plan for the engine bay is I'm going to go and disconnect everything, take everything out. I'm going to paint the firewall. I'm going to paint the inner supports. The engine block, I'm going to clean it off, paint it. Basically, I just want it to look real nice and presentable underneath the hood when I, pop it open. So, clean everything up. Alright, I just wanted to show you my progress so far today. I got my measurements all cut out. I actually went ahead and cut out the extra rust that was in here. This is surface rust. I still have to grind this down because that's kind of iffy. It might be surface rust, it may not be. But I got my basic shapes cut out, as you can see. This one I started shaping a little bit. It goes right here. As you can see, it lines up pretty well right there. I still need to shape it a little bit more, of course, but I just started on it not too long ago, so yeah, that's going to fill in that hole. This is going to be for the scuttle support. That's going to go right here. The corner where you see the squiggly line on that side, that's going to get bent down so I can plug weld it to the firewall there. and then the squiggly line on this side gets folded down so it can weld to the actual scuttle itself. But that's going to go there. And I got my right front mount. This is the mount for the front valance, and this was the this section here that was rusted out. So I just took my basic shape. I have to shape it up a little bit, but as you can see, it's pretty close. So, and then same thing on this side. Alright, so I think I'm just about done for today. I got the majority of the welding done. I actually am just about ready to get the front scuttle panel on, which is what I wanted to do yesterday, and I hoped I'd be able to get to today, and I didn't think I would, but I got pretty close. But here's the handiwork for today. This was a giant hole, and this was just completely rusted. I'm sure if you watched previous videos, then, or even earlier today, this was completely different. Now, if you're asking about these holes here, these holes are actually supposed to be here. The reason being is when the scuttle panel goes on, it's going to come up to about here, and this is just going to completely cover everything. This is basically just a support for the scuttle. It's going to plug weld onto the scuttle itself. Also, I replaced the corners. So this is a new metal here, obviously. The old metal was completely rotted through. So I got new corners for the windshield. I have to grind them down and everything. As you can see, it's still a little bit of overhang, but it's always better to have a little extra metal than it is not have enough. So I cut them a little big on purpose so I can grind them down to fit. Anyway, that's where I got today. My wife's about to come home, so I'm sure I won't be doing too much more work on it. But I appreciate you hanging out with me, and some dirt on there. I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I hope that your project goes just as good, or better, would be better. But do it yourself, don't pay somebody to do it. So, hang in there.